so I had to change my trousers. The food's fine, it landed on my lap and a bit on my bedding, but it's clean, so it's fine. There's every possibility that it's going to have some fluff. No, it's fine, it's totally fine, it's just annoying. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. So I have just spent the last 40 minutes making cauliflower chicken wings. They're delicious. I highly recommend that you, don't know why I'm doing this, I highly recommend that you make them. I'm going to pop the recipe on my website, which I'll pop in the description below. But honestly, look at that. I'll pick this one up specifically. It's a bit sexy, isn't it? So they pull apart. I have had them before. And they pull apart like chicken, just because they've been in the air fryer for so long. But yeah, they pull apart, actually, I was going to say they pull apart like chicken. They don't really. I suppose there's no way to, you know, it's cauliflower. But it's delicious, I promise you. So make it, and by all means, in the comments, you can call me a dirty liar, but it's delicious, I promise you. But yeah. Full disclosure, I have actually been already eating these cauliflower chicken wings. There's got to be a better name for it, hasn't there? But for the time being, cauliflower chicken wings, it's fine. Yeah, I've eaten some of them. Just because 40 minutes is a really long time. Particularly because my general diet is rice, which takes 10 minutes in a rice cooker, or pasta, which takes, what, 10 minutes on the stove. So, yeah, 40 minutes. You know it's good if I'm willing to wait 40 minutes in the kitchen. But, yeah. I popped them in my air fryer. I've never done that before. I popped it in the air fryer because I have a housemate and she's forever using the oven. I've lived here for like over a year now and I've used the oven once. Just because it's disgusting. It's so grim. And the idea of cooking my food in something which is, it's like black. And my housemate, she often eats pizza. So you have like burnt cheese on the bottom of this oven, which is just not for me, no thank you. But yeah, I used an air fryer. It's worked out pretty well. But yeah, I suppose an air fryer. I should have got cutlery. But yeah, I suppose an air fryer is essentially a little oven, so there's no reason why it wouldn't work. But yeah. So yesterday, I'm not sure if I mentioned it, so last week I had an interview. I remember telling you that I had an interview. So I had an interview. I didn't get a very good feeling from it. And then I found out, I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the last video, but I found out that I was invited to a second interview, the same job. And I was talking to my mum and I was like, Mum, I don't think I want to do it. And my mum said, well, just go. It'd be silly not to go to a second interview. So just go. And if you get it, great. And if you don't, you don't. And then I spoke to my dad, who's very keen on the idea of me getting some money. Kind of echoed what my mum said. So I went. I went because, you know, your parents know best. So I went. Honestly, so good. It is spicy though. I put reggae sauce on it. I can feel myself already sweating. Delicious. But yeah, so I went, and interestingly, the lady who I didn't get a very good feeling from in the first interview, just because she was quite standoffish, she was present at the second interview, and she was actually quite pleasant. Like, she was smiling, she was engaging. But the deputy CEO, who was also there, she was just mean. Like, there was a moment, it was fairly early on, I sat down and she just gave me this look. I was like, oh goodness, it's going to be difficult, this. And she went, so I've got a question about your CV. And then she asked it, she was like, okay, that makes sense. So, okay, cool. And she said, so tell me about yourself. And I said, and I think this is a perfectly reasonable question, what would you like to know? And she just went, as if to say, just talk. But she didn't say anything. She just gave me this, like, a dirty look, really. It's like, Jesus, okay, great, awesome. So I told them about Australia. I told them about me travelling. I briefly mentioned doing the Inca Trail. And then I had to do a 5-minute presentation. And the presentation was fine. I did it on my you had to present something that you were proud of having achieved and something you were passionate about. So I chose to speak about my dissertation because it's something that I'm proud about. It's something that I'm proud of. English, is that right? And it also gave me the opportunity to talk for 5 minutes about brands. And it was fine. And then I got to meet the rest of the team, who were lovely. So I walked away thinking, okay, so the deputy CEO might be a bit difficult, but the rest of the team is quite pleasant. And I also thought to myself, you know what? It's not a forever job. Just need to be there for like a year, get some money together, get some experience. And I was also thinking to myself, well, they wouldn't invite me to a second interview if they weren't keen. But I got the telephone call about 2 hours later just saying, unfortunately on this occasion. And the reason why they said that, or the reason why they came to that decision, don't know why I'm struggling with that word, is because the other candidate had more writing experience. Oh, it's dropped cauliflower on my leg. And I was very polite on the phone. I was like, okay, I understand, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for letting me know. But then I got off the phone thinking, they knew that before. So in my first interview, I had to do an exam. I had to do a 45-minute exam, and I had to do a press release and some proofreading. And presumably I passed that, otherwise they wouldn't have invited me back. But they gave it to someone else who had more experience. But they knew that. So it's almost as if they wanted to waste my time. It's so disheartening. So I had a bit of a cry on the phone yesterday. Well, I was going to say to my brother, but that's not true. To my brother and my mum. Just saying it shouldn't be this hard. Like, I'm 30 years old. I don't own a house. I don't have a partner. I have no children, although that's not to say that that's my motivation, because it's not. I have very little money in the bank. And I have what feels like zero skill, which I'm sure is not true, but it certainly feels that way. I think what I feel most let down by is that in the educational system, you're told if you do X, Y and Z, everything will work out. So I've never got in trouble with the law. I've always kept my head down. I did my GCSEs. In fact, I think I was the only person in my school year that revised for their GCSEs. No one does that, but I did. And then I did my A-levels. And then I kept my head down for my undergraduate. And then I did my masters. And then at the time of finishing my masters, the UK were coming out of a recession. So I decided to go travelling for 6 months. And since then, and I'm talking like 5-6 years ago now, for the last 5-6 years ago, I've just been treated terribly by employers. And it's been interview after interview with no real career prospect. It's just been a job. It's just been rubbish. I'm so full. Oh God, I'm gonna eat this last one and I'm gonna pop this away and maybe make it into like, perhaps make it into a burrito or something. I genuinely thought I could do it. But the idea of eating 2 cauliflowers, that's a bit mental, isn't it? So my camera died on me whilst mid-mouthful. But yeah, like I was saying, life wasn't supposed to be this way. And I know people have it much worse, I get that. It just doesn't help my current situation. So I have no idea what I need to do. None. I remember talking in my last vlog about going to Canada. I don't think I want to go to Canada. I do, however, want to learn Spanish. So I'm thinking about maybe going to Ecuador, which I've been toying with that idea for about a year now. Or maybe even like mainland Spain, because I think that would be pretty cool. I just imagined my life being very different. I imagined being with someone. I imagined having my own business. I imagined not crying down the end of the phone to my mum. About feeling like a failure. That's all I want, really. Not to do that. Yeah, life's really hard. But people do have it worse. Much worse. So yeah. Yeah, it defeated me. There's so much left. Yeah. I think ultimately everybody's goal is to be happy. At least I would guess that it's that. But I don't know what I need to do to ensure I have a happy life. Because if I'm honest with you, I would love to have my own business, working online, helping people with going plant-based if that's something that they want to do, creating recipes, and travelling around the world. And you know, meet a really good-looking vegan guy. That would be spectacular. But I need to get some money together before that happens. Oh no. Never mind. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out just like everybody else figures it out. I just wish it had come sooner. What another downer video. And I'm also highly concerned that I've got stuff stuck in my teeth, so if I do, I'm so sorry. Right. I'm so not hungry. This is why I don't have a six-pack. I just can't stop eating, despite the fact that I'm so full. Right, I'm definitely going to go put that down. But if you do make these, let me know, please, because you won't regret it. I'll just finish this bit. Right. I will see you, excuse me, I will see you at the weekend. Right, look after yourself. And, serious proposal here, if you think that I should do something in order to be happy, or if you know in which direction my life is going, and you'd like to offer me some advice, I am all ears, like genuinely. Yeah. But I suppose I need to figure that out for myself. Right, I'm gonna go.